Review and approve the proposed amendment number 3 to the TIP. Dave, are you presenting that?
No, I'm not sure where to go with number 2.
Okay. So, without objection, we'll note for the record that Mayor Engen is joining us, and we'll skip to item 2, which is the amendment 2 to the Unified Planning Work Program and Community Transportation Safety Plan Update Project.
Good afternoon, everybody. Dave Gray, Missoula MPO. I'm here today to seek approval of the UPWP Amendment Number 2, which is an allocation of $50,000 of PL funds toward the update of the Community Transportation Safety Plan. And this is a standard update. We have a 5-year horizon on the safety plan right now, which was first adopted in 2013, so we're up for renewal. And this will go through, we've got, and reevaluate the emphasis areas that we currently have, which are unrestrained drivers, impaired driving, and intersection crashes, and their associated strategies. You have a copy of the scope, I hope, which is the precursor to the RFP, which we hope to send out next week. In addition to most of the items that you should be familiar with from the CTSP, we're going to continue to do crash assessment at the local level. We have agreed to support the MDT performance measures for federal requirements, but we will continue to track local situations as they arise, and like intersection bases and all of that for fatal and incapacitating crashes. We will be looking at property damage crashes as well, so we've got a breadth of severity for these crashes. So we'll be looking at it all. It's not, the performance measures are limited to fatal and incapacitating, but we are not through this plan. So we will be looking at our own goals. So we've agreed to support the MDT reductions for safety in crashes, but we will continue to look at our own trends and try to achieve those independently. One way or the other, we'll still be in compliance with the federal requirement. One of the new parts of the plan will be assessment of emerging technologies and looking at autonomous vehicles, the state of the technology right now, looking at vehicle to vehicle, vehicle to infrastructure, autonomous vehicles in particular, and find out where they are right now, so as we move forward we can have a baseline and try to approach them in some reasonable manner. And that is pretty much it. The plan will generally stay the same. We will be looking at any kind of movement within the emphasis areas, because there are 13 to choose from and we picked the top 3. So if there's movement within those emphasis areas, it'll be reflected in the plan.
And the piece regarding autonomous vehicles, is that new with this amendment as well, or is that something that you've been including?
I'm sorry, what?
Can you reiterate the thing that you just said about the autonomous vehicle technology?
Well, there's been a lot of talk about autonomous vehicles and vehicle technology in general. And one of them is that they're safer. And so we need to find out just exactly what state is the technology in. Is vehicle to vehicle, where we would like to see things going? What's happening there? How is the city going to, or the urbanized area in general, deal with autonomous vehicles as safety goes? Are we going to have to look at parking considerations? Are they going to be battery powered? Are they going to have to charge somewhere? How are we going to manage all these things and still have them be safe within the environment in which we're putting them? So, and, you know, and it's going to, the emerging technology is really an assessment of what's happening. What are the potential legal ramifications of allowing autonomous vehicles without some sort of a regulation? Does the city provide free parking for drop-off? How does it happen? How do they deal with crosswalks? All of these things. So it's really going to be a broad overview of where we are right now. So as we move forward, we can see how they improve, and we can actually say, yes, they are decreasing the crash rates or the severity or whatever.
Okay, thanks for the clarification. And we'll note that Ed Taves is here now as well. Any discussion or questions or motion on this item? Commissioner?
So will emerging technologies also look at things like the loops they put in the streets so that it can talk to the traffic light and say traffic's backed up, or you can go, I mean, I know they use it in other places.
Oh, I'm glad you asked, because that's part of the vehicle-to-vehicle and vehicle-to-infrastructure technology.
Okay.
I think we are moving toward radar instead of the loops. But the breadth of the technology that's coming out right now is kind of a mystery, because it's moving so fast. It's going from vehicle to vehicle, so you can sense how close a car is, or if it's next to you or whatever, then vehicle to technology, and then all of a sudden there's autonomous vehicles. So what's the most appropriate way for us to move forward with the limited funds that we have, kind of thing. Yep.
Just a follow-up question on the autonomous vehicles. So is that something that is, whether or not they can be on our streets, is that something that's decided at the national level and we don't have a lot of say, or is that something we need to learn more about too?
I think the jurisdictions have the right to say whether they are allowed on public streets based on safety record. Because I think Phoenix just pulled them because of the Waymo thing, but that doesn't mean that they're completely unsafe. And that there's a big spread between the companies in general right now anyway. So one of the things that we were watching a webinar, and it's all about the safety part, and they haven't standardized the safety reporting. They haven't standardized the crash reporting. So it's hard to look between all, say, 4 different companies that are the big ones and get consistency on a safety report. So that's one part. It's where's the safety situation right now and how is it going to change, because we'll have to update this in 5 years. The other part is the vehicle to signal part. And we do want to take a look at general signal timing, safety considerations for all of that, and how it might all play. And it might play all the way through to pedestrian head timing and signal preemption stuff. So that would be a new one, and we just approached that the other day because it got brought up in the pedestrian facilities master plan on how to deal with timing. And because signal timing crosses all the modes, it's more important, I think, that we have it in a safety plan here and we address it than put it in one particular modal plan for just pedestrian facilities. So that would be included as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Further discussion? Okay, I'd entertain a motion on this item. Done.
I'd make the motion that we approve the proposed amendment number 2 to the Unified Planning Work Program to add the Community Transportation Safety Plan Update Project.
Okay, thanks. That motion is in order. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Okay. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. We'll return to, thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
We'll return to item 5.1, which is Amendment 3 to the 2018 to 2022 Transportation Improvement Program.
Hi everyone, Tara Ossendorf, Transportation Planner. Thanks for giving me a second. I couldn't find my flash drive today. Okay, so we will just jump in. We're looking at Amendment 3 to the 2018 to 2022 TIP. There's quite a few, mostly minor changes, so we'll try and go through pretty quick and then open it up for any questions. Starting with CMAQ, service operation funds from 2017 had originally been transferred to 2018, but ended up being spent in 2017, so those were just reduced back to the original 365,000 noted there in red. National Highway Program, North of Smet Interchange Project, incidental funds were moved from 2018 to 2019, and the Reserve Street Project added a phase of almost $30,000 in 2019. Moving forward to freight program dollars, Van Buren Interchange Project increased the 2018 funds by $100,000. And then moving down on the slide, West Missoula, all funds were moved back a year and increased by approximately $500,000 in each funding phase. A new project was added for the Missoula district for around $120,000 as a part of a district-wide contract for activities trying to gain compliance with the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. Locations of improvements are at the Van Buren Interchange and I-90 bridges. Another new project was added for about $1.5 million dealing with slope stability issues at Pulp Mill Road, where there have been some issues with slides encroaching on road space. Moving on to the bridge program. For the Bitter River project west of Missoula, about $800,000 was added in 2019 and about $15 million were added in 2020. Those obviously sound like some pretty high numbers, but these funds were already approved and committed in the STIP. We just had yet to actually include them in the most recent TIP. Mackey funds, we have the Grant Creek Road and I-90 project. Construction funds were added in 2020. And Broadway and Toole for the intersection upgrade and signals. You can see some changes in 2018 and 2021. So FTA 5307, both the allocations and transit operation funds were increased by about 15% for all of the years 2018 to 2022 for both of those. And section 5339, IT upgrade funds were bumped back from 2021 to 2022, and bus funds were added in 2018 and 2020, decreasing funds for 2021. So those are all the changes we have for Amendment 3. We also have a couple of comments from Bob Giordano over at MIST. I'll just read those off real quickly. In the Mackey funds, Broadway and Toole Avenue project, he says, yes, the stoplight intersection at Broadway and Toole needs improvement for safety and accessibility. Please complete the pedestrian bridge, or pedestrian crossings, on all four legs. There's currently no crossing of Broadway on the west side of the intersection. This violates Missoula's complete streets policy. Let's fix this. He also comments to please fund the Higgins study at an additional $40,000 to complement the already approved $20,000. It's critical to look at different lane configurations and bike ped facilities now to complement MDT's Higgins Bridge project. This would include a comprehensive analysis of Higgins from Brooks to Broadway. With that, you have the option to either recommend Amendment 3 to the 2018 to 2022 TIP as proposed or as modified by this committee, or you can choose to not approve the amendment and direct us as necessary. MPO staff recommends option 1, and with that, I'll turn it over to you for any questions.
Thanks. Commissioner.
So, Mr. Giordano's number 1 is addressed in the Mackey funds, but number 2 is not something that's on the table right now, right?
Yep.
Okay, just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Okay. Done?
So has TTAC taken this up, and our memo looks like it was written for TTAC's consideration in terms of the options?
Oh, that
and
one might have not been changed over.
And so
the same.
TTAC have they made recommendation for option one?
They did, yep, no comments, recommendation for option one.
Okay. Do you know if they were aware of Mr. Giordano's comments?
They were, yep, they saw the same presentation. It had come in via email that morning.
Great. Okay. Well, I appreciate the engagement on that. Bob makes some great points on the Broadway and Tool project. The Higgins study is a complicated project that I think will come along in due time. And so I appreciate a statement of support. Any additional comments? Okay. Is there any public comment on this? Okay. I'd entertain a motion from committee members to approve the amendment.
So moved.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Okay, that motion passes as well. Thank you, Tara. So we have an update on the MPO website from Aaron Wilson.
All right. Thank you for taking the time to have us present a little bit about our new website. So if you'll remember, during the long-range transportation plan, we had more of a project-specific website called Activate Missoula, where we posted information about that process and some other general MPO projects, but it was more long-range plan focused. We've spent, actually I should say mostly Tara spent a couple of months putting together a new website that is more broadly MPO specific and has a lot of the same aspects of the Activate Missoula website, but again includes some of those other projects and resources. So don't have much to say about it other than pointing out some of the features that are here. Hopefully it will be fairly user-friendly and will be easy for people to find transportation and MPO related information. So on the main page we have, typical top menus to get to all the different pages, but then highlights for each of our primary areas of focus. So our committees, which includes TTAC and this committee, our plans, and then programs such as our traffic count programs, bike ped counts, other ongoing programs that we help to oversee. We also have tried to include some news feeds, so upcoming events, meetings, updates to our plans and other documents. So that will be kind of a rotating list of upcoming events. We also have a link to our Facebook page, so anything that gets posted to the MPO's Facebook page will show up here, and so you don't really even need to have a Facebook account if you want to follow what we're doing, which maybe is appealing to some folks in light of recent goings-on. We also have an About page, just general information about the MPO. We have a page for staff, so all of us, you can see photos and know what we actually look like for the members of the public that don't see us every day. And then we have, again, resources on our committees, plans, programs, and we'll continue to add to this as we develop more information. We also kept the participate page, so this is where we're putting ongoing public participation opportunities for the public for our different plans. Right now, most of this is focused on the pedestrian facilities master plan, which is our primary update project that we're working on. So for all of the public meetings we've held, there's information on the presentations we gave, posters we may have had, opportunities to comment. We try to make those as accessible through the web as possible, so you don't actually have to go to those meetings to get all of that information and have the same opportunities to participate. Although we do, I think it's always a much more rich experience if you can go in person, because then we can interact more with folks, but not everyone can do that. So we have those. There's some interactive maps. There's posters that you can look at from those public meetings, and slideshows from the presentations that we made. And then we have a basic contact page, which lists where we are, so folks can find us if they need to. So that's most of what I have. We just wanted to give a quick update on this. It is a new resource that hopefully will be helpful for folks to see what we're doing, both in the city and county and in the whole MPO region. So that's all I have to say. If there's any questions or want an additional walkthrough, I'd be happy to do it.
Thanks, Aaron. I had one question. I found the wiki map during the LRTP process to be incredibly helpful. I know there's expense associated with that. Is there an ability just to have kind of a geographic data collection that's just open and ongoing, that could be used to gather public comment?
Yeah, we've started doing it. So we have a similar tool on our participate page that, again, some of these things, the ability to create those is getting easier and easier outside of even paying for a wiki. A wiki map costs money. It's usually for a limited duration of time. There are tools that we have. Let's see this one here. Let's see if this will work. So this map we created so that we could both present some of the ongoing data collection that we've been doing and some of the public comments that we received in previous processes. So there's a kind of an initial splash screen that comes up that has instructions for how to use the map. But you can go in and add a new point onto this map for additional comments. So we have all of the comments from the wiki map. All of these yellow cross symbols are points of interest that our volunteers collected when they were out doing sidewalk inventories. And then this button allows you to put a point anywhere out here on the map and provide some additional comments. So this is a tool that's fairly easy to create, and we can do, if we wanted to have some sort of resource to collect just ongoing comments, we could certainly work on doing that.
So is that live right now? Then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, this is specific to the pedestrian facilities master plan, so if anyone who is interested and hasn't been able to provide a comment and has specific locations that they think are indicative of a bigger problem or need to be addressed can go in on this map, and you can zoom in and out and find sort of really specific locations if you want. And you can go in and look at other people's comments that have been left in the past. So some of these, again, are from that LRTP process. We wanted to continue to incorporate those comments in this plan, but it does allow you to add new ones as well. So yeah, I guess long story short, that there is the ability to do that now, and I think the key is identifying what information you want to collect and keeping it somewhat discreet. If it's a free-for-all, it can get, you can get so many comments that it becomes hard to distill what's actually addressable and what's not. If that makes sense.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Any additional comments? Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
So we'll move on to announcements. We have the spring bike ped counts coming up. You want to address those?
Yeah, so we do this twice a year. I'm sure everyone is familiar by now. We do our volunteer bike ped counts. So we do it for 2 hours on Tuesday and 2 hours on Saturday. During on Tuesday it's 4 to 6 p.m. to catch the commute traffic, and then on the weekend, the Saturday, it's 12 to 2 to get more of that recreational use of our facilities. So we need I think we need between 30 and 40 volunteers at least to start counting all of these stations. It's also every 4 years we try to collect surveys where we go out and try to talk to people who are biking and walking, and we have a set of questions that we ask, and it gives us some useful context in terms of why people choose the routes they do, what would they like to see improved to make it more safe or comfortable. So that sort of ups our volunteer need in terms of how many people, because ideally we would have 2 people at every station at least, one to count and one to administer the survey. So if anyone has some free time on a Tuesday or Saturday, those are going to be on May 1st and May 5th.
And you promise spring will be here by then?
I promise at least one day of spring will be here by then. And then the other announcement we have is May is Bike Month, so Missoula in Motion is putting together a lot of different activities for that month. It's also our commuter challenge, so make sure anyone who's watching or folks that you can register teams through MissoulaInMotion.com, and that's a competition between businesses and different departments, just to try to encourage people to at least take one sustainable commute and see if they can turn that into doing it more regularly. I think that's all the updates we have.
Any additional closing comments from the committee? Okay. We'll close it out within the hour then. We'll be adjourned.